You know those moments when you're doing what you love in your business? Maybe it's standing on stage or creating content. Whatever it is, you're totally immersed and time just seems to slip by. This is called the flow state.
At Speaker Flow, we're obsessed with how to get you there more often. Each week, we're joined by a new expert where we share stories, strategies, and systems to help craft a business you love. Welcome to Technically Speaking. All right, boom. We are live. Ford, welcome to the show, man. So good to have you here.
I'm excited. This is going to be fun.
Yeah. Oh, we agree. You know, we see you around at all the conferences and stuff, and you're always just a bright spot in the day. You bring so much good energy with you. I feel like I need that in my life. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you. I guess I'm an activator. You can call me caffeine, I guess, from now on.
Yeah.
Nice. Great. Ooh, I like that. All right. I mean, you've got a reputation that doesn't even need an explanation. So I'm sure a lot of the people listening to this show already know you very well. You've got a very decorated background, 10 companies, I think you started based on what I read in the bio, which is wild. I don't know how you have time to do anything else. Probably not all of them operational right now, I imagine, which may be a story for another day. But something that really caught my eye is that you hold a couple of patents. What are those patents?
3 of them?
Well, it's actually 17 companies now, but nobody cares about me, right?
17.
It doesn't care. Well, wait. That doesn't mean they were all successful. Okay, there's been
Sure, of course,
never any
naturally,
bankruptcies, but
right.
I'm an entrepreneur, right? I started my entrepreneurial journey at 15 years old. I patented a few products in sporting goods and medical products in my early 20s. Built a manufacturing company up to over 100 employees. And worked through all channels of distribution: retail, wholesale, specialty catalogs, mass merchants, chain stores. And so that gave me a really big foundation. And then that led right into the speaking, training, coaching, and consulting.
Wow. Really? So the original background wasn't even in marketing. You're an entrepreneur, and the marketing
100%.
skill set has just been developed over time.
100%. Yeah. This isn't theory. When I talk about it, I've spent my own money, millions of dollars of my own money. And then now, millions of dollars with my clients' money to figure out what works and what doesn't. And really, when people say, what do? I bridge the gap between where people are now with their value proposition to help them do 4 things, Austin. I help them increase their influence, increase their subscribers, whether it's their list or whether it's, they're following on social media, get leads, quality leads, and increase sales. And so that's it. So yeah, marketing creates those opportunities for salespeople. But I'm known for marketing, but really what's the result of marketing? It's accelerating growth.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
That makes perfect sense.
Well, you speak in outcomes too, which speaks to your ability to not only pair like the marketing tactics, but the psychology of selling. So there was a meta layer that I think we just witnessed happen as you were explaining yourself there.
It's true. I'm going to jump in because I know it's your show, but you brought me on, right? So you got to expect I'm going to say something. So
use of the stream deck.
I was on the phone with a client earlier. They're in my coaching package, and they sent out a proposal, and they were upset that the client didn't take it. And I said, well, let me take a look at what you put. And so it was a training package. They had 3 different levels, and it was all feature. I'm going to do these modules, feature. And she was wondering why she didn't get the sale. And I said, do you know what their average transaction is? What's that? Do you know what their exposure is and their capacity, what their market share is? Do you know what the cost to acquire a customer? I asked them all these these questions. She didn't know any of the answers. And I said, the reason you're not selling isn't because you don't have a quality product, isn't because you don't have something great to offer. And the same thing with your viewers and listeners. It's because you're not communicating it effectively. And so we've all seen people that are more talented than we are. Certainly there's more people more talented than I am in the speaking business. But my ability to communicate effectively, to create awareness and then get them to act, that's the unique skill. And so we went back and we rewrote her proposal and redid her cover letter. And now she's in discussions with him again because I had her go back to the client or the prospect and say, hey, I was thinking about the proposal I sent. I want to clarify a few key points. All of my packages that I prepared for you were custom designed for your specific needs and outcomes to help you. And then we had a list of bullets. Avoid this, prevent this, and then get this, and get this. And so when we were done, she's like, oh, well, I didn't do that. And I said, yeah, that's why you didn't get the sale.
Yeah, well, the true psychology there, it's all about emotions and bridging the gap for people. It's hard to understand what a feature does if it doesn't connect emotionally. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
Taylor, the features are important, but benefits come first. So
sure.
I just tell
That's
people,
right.
if you're listening and watching this, you got to go back and review what is it that you're leading with. You want to give them the headache and sell them the aspirin. And again, it's
Mhm.
not manipulative. It's just the way communication works.
Just it's the way it goes for sure. So how did you what were you always fascinated by marketing? Like what was the transition there? I mean, why was that the sweet spot for you like today?
Well, I grew up an orphan in foster care and in detention centers and homes, and I would get attention the wrong way. I'll just leave it at that.
Mm,
You can Google me and you can
okay.
find out about my past. Okay. So I
Sure.
found that when I started my first business and I was going door to door selling things at a very young age, that I could get positive attention by solving people's problems. So that
Ah,
is where the desire came from, and that's why I started and launched so many products because I was always looking for, well, if I can just solve this problem, then people will pay me, they'll like me, they'll know me, and they'll trust me. So it really was driven by, I guess, abandonment issues to get attention and then to be able to do it in an authentic way to build trust. And so that's where it came from. So marketing was never the
wow.
goal. Marketing
Yeah.
was the byproduct of how do I get in front of the right people with a clear message? And because I was pretty streetwise, I already had some pretty good skills at reading, behavior. And at the time, I didn't know what NLP was or, psychology of selling. No, I just like, I have this really cool product or solution. I know you need it. Let me share with you why it would be helpful. And I had to learn the difference between influencers and decision makers and personality styles and all that. So, you craft it just like what you guys have done with Speaker Flow in your businesses.
Well, the school of hard knocks is a good teacher a lot of the time. So you're
Yes.
paying attention
Expensive.
and just
I,
constantly
I
trying to improve.
It is,
expensive.
yep.
I would have liked to pay the tuition a different way, but that's the way it is.
Sure.
Yeah, at least made
Yeah.
money doing it, so there's
Sure.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is a really good foundation to build off of here. The reason that we brought you in is because of this expertise and the working experience applying it. You're a perfect person to help bust some myths that are out there. When we sat down and we're planning the show, we were just thinking to ourselves, there's everybody's got the marketing advice, and honestly, the tried and true principles they work. They just work throughout time. You go to any major marketing expert, and probably they'll share 75% of the same ideas because the tried and true principles work. But there's also a lot of bullshit out there, and we think that somebody needs to be able to. Thank you.
We got the label, it's fine.
We got the label, yeah. Yeah, I think you're the best person to just bring the truth hammer down in a few instances. So you game?
Absolutely. And just for the record, for those of you watching this is not pre-scripted. These questions are live and in color. So let's rock. Go for it. Give me your best shot.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, we're gonna see if we stump you. I don't know. Maybe the myths
I
that we think are
doubt
myths
it.
aren't even myths. We're gonna find out.
Maybe.
All right.
There we go.
So we're gonna start out with one that is near and dear to Taylor and I's heart because we never hear the end of why people find this to be so important. So the myth is social media is the only way to build a following for a thought leadership business. What's your take on that?
No,
Is that true?
no, that's bullshit. I can say that's your belief system. I didn't even censor my own.
Don't even worry
Come
about
on,
it.
man. You've
Look,
got the
look,
beat
Delayed
button.
censor.
Look, well, here's the deal. Social media is just a communication tool. All social media websites are databases. What can you do with a database? Well, you can have a profile, you can put content up, and you can communicate. So I don't care if it's Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Google Plus, Pinterest, TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram. I could go on, or the new ones that haven't even been invented as of this live broadcast. Social media are just communication tools. So the key isn't what tool. Don't get seduced by the technology. What you want to do is fish where the fish are. Where does it make sense? Where does your target prospect congregate? And then how do you get in front of them? So, certainly, social media is a great tool. Direct mail still works, cold calling still works, marketing automation still works, funnels still work, ebooks and giving away free things and free web. All methods work if they're executed. So, the key is not to get seduced by the method, but to go back and say, what's the message? Is it compelling? Are we communicating effectively to our target prospect? And I mean whether you say avatar or ideal client profile or whatever, at the end of the day, these concepts aren't new. It's so funny, I'll watch TikTok and someone will say, "Hey, everybody, I've got this new strategy. It's called a benefit headline." And I'm like, yeah, like they didn't know
Oh,
about that in
stop.
Rome, right? So,
Yeah.
so, so the myth here is social media is a communication channel, but it should be used with other things. It should not be your only channel. Those people who sell those master classes and think, oh, this is the only way to do it. Well, not necessarily. It depends on your product, it depends on your price, it depends on the sales process. Some things social media is a great way to sell. Like for me, I'm now wearing the perfect jean, and this is no endorsement for anybody. This is not an affiliate link, but the jeans, they're comfortable, they stretch. Found about them on TikTok. I didn't need a sales letter and a mini course to do it. I saw the product, went and bought it, right? So some things, the sales cycle dictates the method. So don't get seduced by the method. Oh, you should be using LinkedIn. Well, maybe that worked for you, but that doesn't mean it's going to work for everybody.
Heck yeah.
Well said. Yeah,
Myth
I totally agree.
busted.
There's nuance, right? I mean,
Yeah.
with anything, I think does social media work isn't the right question, especially after hearing you say that. That kind of solidified that for me more. I mean, the real question is that where your people are? If so, then could be great. If not, then probably not the right fish.
Yeah. Austin, if you're asking the wrong question, the answer doesn't matter. So a lot of
Yeah.
times, you and I both have prospects that come to us that think they know what they want. Hey guys, I need this. And then they tell you all the things they need. And you're listening and you're saying to yourself, this person doesn't have a clue what they need. They've read a few books or they've watched some webinars and they think they know, but they don't know what they don't know. Now, there's no offense to that person. I'm not judging that person. You have to ask questions. You have to be intuitive, and you can always learn from everybody. But it's really about what are they trying to accomplish. So I could come to Speaker Flow and I could say, hey, I'm converting from Sharp Spring and I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. And at some point, you're just going to say, you're more polite than I am, but you're going to say, hey, let's stop. What's your fee? How many bookings do you want? What other things do you sell? What's your average transaction? And then you're going to be able to mathematically go, well, if his keynote fee is 25 grand and he wants to speak 50 times a year, now okay, the guy's got money. At least I know that I'm dealing with someone who could possibly be a good client, because some of the clients need our services, but they can't afford it, right? I
Right.
I just had a proposal right before this broadcast. Someone just sent me and they didn't take my package, and they said, my budget's about a third of what you said. Thank you very much. And I sent back and said, I understand that we're not a great fit for everybody. I wish you the best of success in what you're doing. If you have anything change, call me back. And then I put it into Zoho that I'll call him in, 90 days and ask him where he's at, because I know where he's going to be at. He's going to be frustrated that he went with an Upwork vendor for a cheaper price. In most cases, they're not going to be able to deliver it, because if they could deliver it, they'd have to charge what I charge. And so a lot of times when it comes down to fee, people are trying to compare the fee apples to apples when it's not apples to apples.
Yeah. No, you're totally right. Okay. So myth number 2 is around SEO. Okay. So some search engine stuff. SEO isn't important to my business.
So the
What's
biggest
it?
misconception again is people call it SEO, but what they really
Mhm.
need to be asking is traffic and rankings important? So if you want organic
Mhm.
traffic, now this is well, let's back up, and I know it's only a half an hour show and I won't go 3 hours here.
Oh, we're laying them on you.
Yeah, so there's only 3 ways you're going to get traffic: create, borrow, or buy. You're going to create it using content to build your reputational equity. That content has to be optimized. So we're drilling back down to what SEO is, right? So for
Mhm.
search engine optimization, they think they don't need it because they might say, "Well, I get all my business from referral." That's because you don't have any other marketing. It's not because referrals are bad. Referrals are great. Congratulations. Referrals are a great thing, but that doesn't mean what other opportunities are you missing because you don't have your ranking. So just real quick, the myth is everybody needs optimization of their content. That comes from keywords and content. AI runs everything now, artificial intelligence. So it's not about stuffing keywords in, it's about having a body of work that the search engine or the platform, LinkedIn, social media, Facebook, whatever, can use. So the myth is wrong and busted. You need to make sure that you properly title, describe, and format your content for whatever medium or platform it's on to help them. And there's no secret. If you want to rank on LinkedIn, LinkedIn is completely different than Facebook or another platform. Posting articles on LinkedIn does nothing. Posting a video on LinkedIn does nothing. It's all about the conversation. It's not a pump and dump type platform. Facebook's pump and dump. You can put more content on it. For Google, used to be that you had to have a big website and use page titles and meta descriptions and H1 tags and all this other stuff. Yeah, that's still important. But now you might have, if Speaker Flow has 700 pages on their website, but 600 of them haven't been viewed in a year, you're going to get penalized because your site isn't quality. And if you got rid of those 600 pages, you'd actually get more traffic on the 100. So for SEO, it's not about more. It's, are you formatting your content in a way that helps whatever platform properly index it?
Yep. Man, the
Beautifully
science
said.
and the art combined
Yeah,
with that
yeah.
response. I love that. Do you think that this is a skill set that people should, I hate that word, but could invest their time in and reasonably expect to learn how to do it well? Or do you think SEO from the technical standpoint is better outsourced for a typical thought leadership business?
I would probably say they need to outsource it to a competent professional. But what they do need to do, if they're a professional speaker, thought leader, expert, author, trainer, consultant, they do need to understand that keywords drive traffic, your content drives traffic, and they need to craft the content in a way that allows the medium to understand it. So as the author of that content, or the person, or if you hire an outside company, the content has to be relevant. So for give you an example, I just I just signed up for an affiliate for a program called My Outdesk. And yes, I'm an affiliate if you click my link, but we're not talking about that on the podcast. My Outdesk is for virtual assistants. I need sales support. I'm going to try these guys. I talked to the owner Daniel Ramsey. So I got a good relationship with him, and I said, okay, I like your product. So what did I do? I went to ChatGPT and I said, write an article, act as a creative marketer, and write me an article with lists and bullets, including do's and don'ts, to why small businesses need a virtual assistant. Because see, they gave me a bunch of content to use as an affiliate, but I don't want to put the same content up that 500 other people are using. That doesn't make any sense. Google's not going to give it any juice, or any other platform. So I used ChatGPT. I got the article. I obviously tweak it because you can't just take whatever you get because it could be wrong. And I went to Synthesia, which is another AI program to create videos, because I don't need my video. I have technology in a studio and I can I don't want my face on the video. So I went to Synthesia, took another 15 minutes, created a short video with the 5 reasons why you need to outsource to get a virtual assistant, with an affiliate link at the end of the video, posted it on YouTube. It got like 12 views in the first 20 minutes. I don't know how many views it has now, but I don't need a lot. If I get a $500 affiliate referral from it, well, now so what? So maybe I get $1,500, $2,000 a month from referrals, but the content drove it. So I didn't just put a video up and say video1.mp4. I titled it, I tagged it, I used the words I wanted in the video because YouTube transcribes it. I put it in the description, I put the tags, I put the end screens. I did all the things necessary so that when someone is interested in that topic, it's going to show up. But that's because I understand how the medium works. So the first step is you have to have quality content. Second, you have to optimize that content for whatever medium you're using. That's it.
Myth busted.
Busted. Maybe I'll agree with one of them.
Busted.
Give me the next one.
We'll see. All right, Taylor, go for it.
Okay. Email marketing is dead.
Okay. Again, I think we're following a theme here. The theme isn't that it's dead; it's that it's overused and misused. What I've seen work very effectively with email is, instead of fancy email templates with headers and 25 links, which automatically go to promotion or spam, that you create a text-based or an email that looks text-based with only 3 lines of text and either no links or 1 link. No links was actually, if you want to get, and you're starting to see this. We're all starting to see this in our inbox now, where we're seeing text links from someone that we don't know, but they're making it look very personal, but it's showing up in your inbox. So if you email marketing works, it's about the relationship. So
Mm.
if I'm a and since I am, full disclosure, everybody, I am a customer of SpeakerFlow and use Zoho, and Taylor and Austin helped me set it up. So full disclosure and testimonial, it was a great deal. I'm a paid customer. It was not a free trade, right? So
That's right.
so the key point though is I'm a fan. So if Taylor and Austin are doing some retreat or a get together or a special event or a coaching session, I'm going to pay attention, and most likely email is going to be a great way to reach me because I've already got the relationship. So it's not that the medium doesn't work, it's what's the relationship. So for example, if I'm doing lead capture, which, SpeakerFlow has helped me set up, and I go speak at an event, I use a QR code and someone downloads my special report. Well, that relationship is much different than someone who paid me 25 grand to speak or hired me in my agency. So the medium works. And I would say this, if you're using any medium, and we still want to talk about the other myths, but if you're using any medium and it's not working, it's not the medium. It's what you're saying
Mm.
and it's a relationship.
Yep. I think this is so important. And I think maybe even a way that we could expand this one out a little bit is the idea of using an email marketing system for cold outreach. This is like one of the most common things that we run into when we're working with a lot of our clients is they want to upload a list of 50,000 names that they got from some database and then send them all
Gosh.
a bunch of generic emails, not personalized, nothing else, and then just play off of probability basically that something is going to come back. And what's interesting to me is it seems like even the law of averages as it relates to sales and marketing falls apart with that strategy.
It
It's like
does.
the probability goes away. And it seems like that's a reflection of what you were just talking about is it's a shift of how people look at email.
Yeah,
What are
I
your thoughts
think
about that?
yeah, I think if you're spamming, and full disclosure, I worked with a guy out of Florida. We created a company where we were selling continuing education. We built it up from 112 or 1 6 CD set to over $120,000 a month. And guess what we
Is
did?
this aces?
This is another company which I am no longer involved with, so I won't say who
Okay.
it
Okay.
is.
All right. Noted.
But I will tell you that I was the brains behind helping them scale considerably from one product to thousands of products. I was on their faculty. We did one site. We did it for legal. So we did continuing legal education. We did continuing CLE, CPE, CME. We did all that. We went and researched all the different continuing educations, and then we created satellite sites for each one. Then I went to a company called Mozenda, Mozenda, and I scraped databases. So I scraped all the names from all the databases, and then we spammed them. So yeah, the full disclosure, that was not something I would do now, nor was that a problem back then. So don't write that down. Oh, I'm going to go scrape databases. Don't do that. But I was sending out 6 million emails a month with no complaint, cold databases, and getting about $120,000 in sales. So does it work? Yeah, it works. Um, did the laws change over the years? Yeah, which is why I got out of it, because I'm like, you know what? I'm going to leave well enough alone. This has worked long enough. Time for me to, let that go. But if you have a cold list and you don't have permission, it's spam. So full disclosure, this broadcast is for educational and informational purposes. You are holding us, our affiliates and assigns harmless of anything that we might say during this broadcast. Okay.
Thank you for the disclaimer.
Okay. So
Oh,
so so
perfect.
we're good. But no, look, test first. If you've got a list and you've got a bunch of cards and you want to mail somebody in your area, do 50 emails and see if you get any response. Do a test.
Mhm.
I would say that's a smart strategy. If there's any relationship that you have, it makes sense. So I'll give you an example on the legal side. We went to state associations that have public listings of attorneys, scraped the database, had their names and emails, and then we just sent them an email that said, "Hey, John, the deadline for your CLE credits is coming up by the end of the month. I didn't want you to forget to get it. Here's where you can get your certificates." Forward. Like we didn't. The guy doesn't. If he's an attorney and he gets an email like that, he's like, "Do I know this guy?" Well, maybe I do. Well, you know what? My CLE credits are coming due. And for $39 to $79, they go and put their credit card in and they get a certificate. And now they've solved their problem. So it's always about that. So email marketing works, but if you're going to do cold email, I recommend having a relationship or having something that's good. What you don't want to do is send those emails that say, I just want to know, are you the right person who makes the buying decisions? Like, no, if you haven't taken the time to do your research ahead of time, don't waste your time.
Do you hire speakers?
Yeah, right? Right? I mean, and you guys deal with that because I mean, you guys have been very successful navigating the speaker world because as I've been in it for 34 years, there's certainly some nuances I've learned over the years. Um, calling and asking a company if they hire speakers is terrible. What I would do if we're on that topic for 2 seconds, I'd go to that conference. I'd look at who they hired in the past. I'd look at Facebook's their social media. What did they post about it? What was the hashtag they used for the conference? I'd reverse engineer it and find out who they hired. Then I would go to the bureau pages and figure out what's the fee of the person they hired. Did they have a budget? Now that doesn't mean that conference paid that person, but that's a good way to at least start. At that point, I could send an email and I could say, um, let's say Austin had the speaker universe event, and I know that you hired Taylor to come in and speak. I would send you an email. Hey, Austin, I know you brought Taylor in last year for your event. Taylor and I typically exchange or follow each other on the circuit. Some years they book him, some years they book me. I'd love to have my name considered for next year's conference. Here's my demo video. Now, I didn't say that I knew Taylor. I didn't say that he endorsed me. I'm saying, hey, I noticed you had Taylor. I'm in the same circuit that he is. Typically, clients either bring him in one year, then me in the next year. I'd love to be considered for next year's conference. Then you could say, well, who would be the best person to talk to? I think that's a reasonable request. That is a very effective way to get the phone to ring, or at least have someone email back and say, yeah, I'm interested.
Booyah.
Yep. Cheers to that. Myth busted?
Yep.
It busted.
Okay. I'll load the next one up. You ready for this?
Yep.
Do it.
Video marketing is too expensive for a thought leadership business.
I don't think we have to spend any time on that. Look, if you're not using video in today's day and age, it's only, again, price is relative. Okay. My keynote fee is 25 grand. Why am I on podcasts? Why am I on Fortify Live on Wednesdays at 11 a.m.? Why do I use video so effectively? Because if I'm going to expect someone to spend 25 grand minimum as a speaking, then they have to be able to see the product. And if you're a speaker, author, trainer, or consultant, and you're not leveraging the power of video or video courses or master classes or some other way to monetize your expertise, then you should just go hang this up and go hand out French fries.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fighting words.
Sorry. I have to be careful because I work with a lot of quick service brands. But most of those quick service, I got to be careful. There's probably those brands that
people need to hear this.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with handing out French fries if that's your entry level job. I just want to say, if you're trying to be a thought leader, a keynote speaker, or an expert, you've got to be using video.
That's what you signed up for. Yeah, for sure. Nailed it. Okay, so kind of nearing the end here. So I want your soapbox.
I can go quick. I can do sound bites if you got more. I'll be really quick.
Okay, great. That sounds good. So I want your biggest soapbox. So wherever you have that in your office, just go pull that out, step up on it here. What is the most aggravating excuse people have? Let's put this in the lens of speakers, since you know them so well, for not focusing on marketing. What's the most aggravating excuse?
I said I'd be short. The biggest excuse is that they want to hire somebody else to market themselves. They say, I'm just great on stage. If you would just sell me.
Right.
And I even have people say to me, well, if you're such a great marketer, how about I give you 50% of everything you do? Well, my job is not to market you. I can market myself for 100%. The biggest mistake is that people think marketing is selling. Marketing and sales is just giving people enough information that they can make informed decisions. If you care about helping people, if you care about making an impact and making a transformation, then you would tell people about it. That's marketing.